associates means, as you can understand, we are religious who live in community. You are lay people, that you understand, no? Lay people. So lay associates means we have in a group of lay people who are not religious, who don't live in community, who are our associates. In other words, you help in your own way to live our spirituality. Our spirituality which will help people to be more Christian. So I will explain to you what we mean by our spirituality. Not that we are perfect, but we try to live a certain spirituality. We try to live the gospel values. Let's put it that way. So FMM lay associates are lay people who are associated with the FMM spirituality. And now through what we are doing with the group that we are about, now we do that with 22 people in this community. In every community there are lay associates, right? We have 17 communities in Sri Lanka. North, South, East, West, Central region we have. And in every community they have lay associates. We have with you 22. So everywhere there is the same process. We get these people, we talk to them about what it means to live our spirituality. So that's what we mean by FMM lay associates. So Leon, what we are inviting you to do is to live this spirituality there in your workplace, right? Wherever you are working, and also in the buses when you are traveling, in your own family, right? How do you make people happy? How do you make our society a better place? Everything in our society is not perfect, isn't it? Now already sisters are telling me they get messages on the phone, all types of messages about what is happening in the country after Gotha War. Right? He has also said something about now they are all angry. They are not showing it, but messages are coming around about the people of the north and the east. You saw the map, no? You saw the map. Where the Sajid's votes were and where the rest of all his votes came from. Because he said before the elections, I know all the Sinhala Buddhists will vote for me. He said that openly, I heard him. All the Sinhala Buddhists will vote for me. Gotha clearly said that, right? So when he says that the Sinhala Buddhists will, naturally vote for him, and the Tamils, Muslims, Catholics, they voted for Sajid. It's very clear what has happened. So now people are asking, what is going to happen to the Tamils in the north and the east? What is going to happen to the Catholics and to the Muslims? Because Gotha knows that all these people voted for Sajid. Right? Now, doesn't matter. I trust in God's goodness. We all prayed for a good president and God gave us this person. So in such a society, how can you, being a lay person, bring about interracial, interreligious harmony? You see, Leon, that is our Franciscan vocation. So I will tell you why I say it's a Franciscan vocation. I would like to begin with our Franciscan vocation. Yes. Is it all right? Okay, something to refresh you.
Very good.
Take another biscuit. Right. So, this question of the our Franciscan FMM charism. The word charism, I use this word often. It means really our spirituality. Charism is a gift given by the Holy Spirit to different groups. So our charism given by the Holy Spirit to our foundress. Our foundress is Blessed Mary of the Passion. She is the foundress, right? She founded our congregation in 1877. In 1877, she founded the congregation of the Franciscan Missionaries of Mary. She was a French nun who was living in India, in Uti, and that's where she founded our congregation. So, our congregation, God gave her this gift. The Holy Spirit gave her this gift of the charism. Now, what is our charism? It's here. What is very important for us, Leon, is the Blessed Sacrament that represents the Eucharist. That is why we have exposition of the Blessed Sacrament every day. Every day, and all of us have to make adoration in front of the Blessed Sacrament exposed every day. We have to find time. Right? Some make half an hour, some make 1 hour. We have to have. So, our Eucharistic life, I will explain that to you what that is. Then we have our Marian vocation. Franciscan is to be the followers of Saint Francis. That I will explain to you. Missionaries, M of Mary. Missionaries means to be a missionary. In one sentence, if I have to say that, and you have to be a missionary, to manifest the love of God. That's what we mean by being a missionary. Manifest the love of God. Missionary doesn't mean going on preaching. It doesn't mean that. Everything you do, you have to manifest God's love. So if that way you can, in that way if you can be a missionary, you are a perfect Christian. Isn't it? Isn't it? And you can do it here. And I'm sure you are doing it in a simple way today in your workplace. How many people are you working with in your office? About
100.
Pardon?
100.
Pardon?
100.
100?
Yeah.
Ah. And you are in contact with 100 people. You are in contact with them. More or
Not of
less.
them Catholic.
Pardon?
None of them Catholic.
No, but you are in contact with them.
Yeah.
You see them all every day. They see you. They don't have to be Catholics. Right? You don't have to say you are a Catholic, but your life has to show it. I'll give you a beautiful example to help you to understand this. The priest who comes for Mass on Fridays, Father Leonard, one day in his homily he told us this. Maybe I told you at the last meeting, but I will repeat the story. A lady came in the parish where she's working, a couple really. When he was working, he was in Talavakela or in Kandy, I don't know where he was working. Couple came and asked to be baptized. So Father, they were Buddhists. So Father hesitated. So Father asked, why do you want to become Catholics? So they said, no, they are convinced that Christianity, to be a Catholic is what it really means. Our lives can change when we become Catholics. So Father questioned them, and this is what that lady told Father, why she and her husband have decided to become Catholics. She said that her sister was working in a big company in Colombo. In a big company in Colombo, she was working there, and in a company, in an office, all that happens, the way people behave. So she said that everywhere, they had all types of problems, and the way people behave in a company, men and women. So this lady saw that there was another lady in the office who was different from the others in Colombo. This truly happened, it's a true story. So she was observing this lady, and she saw that she was kind to people. She behaved herself. She didn't misbehave with any men. She was really a decent lady, kind, gentle, forgiving, helpful to people. So this lady was observing her. So one day this Buddhist lady, she went and asked this other lady, can you tell me why you are different? There is something different in you compared to all the other people who are working in this office. So this lady had said, I don't know. If you want to know, I am a Catholic and I live according to the gospel. I live according to my convictions. So this Buddhist lady had asked, what do you mean living according to the gospel, and this is what you live according to your convictions? So this Catholic lady had said, it's about what Jesus has taught us, to be kind, to be gentle, to forgive, to help people who are in need, etc. Jesus did that. So this Buddhist lady became very interested and asked her more questions about her life. And then this lady went and told her family that she wants to become a Catholic. So naturally her family were a little upset, Buddhist people, they won't just say yes. So anyway, she became a Catholic. And her people, her family, saw a big difference in her life after she became a Catholic. The way she was talking to the family members, the way she was behaving, they saw a big difference. So then her own sister, this Buddhist lady's sister, this Buddhist lady who became Catholic, her sister was this lady who came to Father to ask to be baptized. So she told herself and she told her husband, just after she became a Catholic, she's such a different person in the family. I too want to change my life. So I want to become a Catholic, and she kept on talking about this lady to her husband. So her husband also agreed. So that is why husband and wife went to Father to ask for baptism. His father told us this during the sermon one Friday. That is how, so for me it's a concrete example of what, one Catholic person can do in a company. The influence you can have. So that's why we feel that you can be a missionary. All the lay associates, FMM lay associates, can be missionaries. A lot depends on how you live. Whether in your workplace, even in the bus, sometimes we have many opportunities in the bus, Leon. A simple gesture, when you get up and give a lady a place, isn't it? Or when someone is carrying a baby and gets into the bus. I have seen beautiful things happening in the bus. So, in the bus, or sometimes even the way people behave, the way they talk to each other, and the way you intervene to bring about peace. Sometimes even the way the conductor talks to the people. So and then on the road, when you go to a shop, when you go marketing, at home, how can you be a peacemaker? How can you be a person who your neighbors? How can you make a difference in the neighborhood? Isn't it? So that's what you mean by being a missionary. You don't have to preach, just your life. Right? And so Eucharistic vocation, missionary vocation, Marian vocation. What does it mean to be like Mary? Marian vocation doesn't mean just because you are saying the rosary every day, I hope you say the rosary, it doesn't mean you are Marian. To be Marian, a Marian vocation is to be like Mary. To be like Mary. Mary also was a very humble person, very humble. At the wedding feast of Cana, you know the story of the wedding feast of Cana, where she helped a couple. She went and asked Jesus to saying that they have no wine. You know the story of the wedding feast at Cana, right? How she was thoughtful, how she observed that in that country, in Palestine, Mary's time when Mary was living, they had to have wine during the wedding. A young couple, the wine was finished. They were very embarrassed because that time in Palestine, all that was what they drank, not drinks, not tea, not coffee. So Mary saw that they had no more wine. They didn't ask Mary. She was only a guest. She went and told her son Jesus to Jesus. When I told Jesus, these people, their wine is finished. Can you help them? So Jesus had not yet worked any miracles before that. But because his mother asked, he worked a miracle. Because his mother said to help them somehow or another to have wine. So Mary was thoughtful. She wanted to help that couple. She goes and asks Jesus, and Jesus helps her. What does it mean to be like Mary? Humble, right? Thoughtful. She never gossiped. Never gossiped. So how do we live our Marian vocation? To be like Mary. So, Franciscan Missionaries of Mary. So I will explain to you now, one by one, what this FMM charism really means. Take another biscuit, your sleepiness will go. Huh? Chapunga. You're feeling sleepy. I know, which is normal, after a full day's work. You are sure you don't want a biscuit to keep you awake? No? Okay. So, how will you get over your sleepiness? Huh? What will you do? Huh? I can understand that you are feeling sleepy. No? You want me to continue? Sure? Okay. And then now we will say a few words about St. Francis. St. Francis of Assisi. You have also Leon, St. Francis Xavier. We have heard of St. Francis Xavier? Yes. He was a saint, a Goanese, who lived in India, who came to India, and that is where many of our people also became Catholics, right? St. Francis Xavier. But then you also have another saint, St. Francis of Assisi. Assisi is a small city in Italy, north of Italy. St. Francis was born in Assisi, he lived in Assisi, he died in Assisi. Right? So, he is the one whom we are following, St. Francis of Assisi. Now, what was special about St. Francis? Right. And what does it mean to be Franciscan Missionaries of Mary and to be lay associates, FMM lay associates, Franciscans? What does it mean for you to be a Franciscan? I will tell you very briefly. Now you listen carefully. Tomorrow I will ask you what you remember of all that I have said. You are awake now? Are you awake? Okay. Francis was a young boy, like any young boys in Assisi, like in Sri Lanka, young boys full of life. And he was a real leader. He had many friends in Assisi, and they really loved Francis. And Francis used to go around singing on the streets of Assisi, and with his friends. And they were all very friendly, full of life. He had no other thought but fun. Of having fun. He was that type of a young boy. Then his father was a cloth merchant. So the father used to go to different countries in Europe, and he used to buy this gold brocade and all rich cloth, and he used to bring to Assisi, and he had a cloth shop. And Francis used to help in that shop. And the father was very proud of Francis, and he wanted Francis to take over the business. Because, he knew that Francis was a very friendly type, and Francis will be able to do very well in this business. So, and they were rich. They were rich people. His mother was a simple, humble lady. A nice lady, very simple and humble. But, she just lived her life looking after the husband and the children. Then Francis wanted, that time, they had, I don't know whether you have heard about the Crusades. Have you heard about the Crusades? Crusades, the war between the Catholics and the Muslims. You all have studied about that, I'm sure. So that was the time they had the Crusades, Francis's time. So Francis wanted to go to the Middle East and fight and become famous. He thought that he'll go and kill the Muslims and then become famous and then take over the Holy Land. So he told his father he wanted to go. The father was very happy. And the father gave him, got for him a soldier's suit, and then he got the best horse for him and sent him off in the horse, right, to go to the Middle East and to fight for the Crusades and to come back as a famous, winner, to win the war. So St. Francis left. But on the way, he got sick. And when he was sick, God spoke to him. And his whole life changed. So he comes back to Assisi. The father is very disappointed. The father expected him to come back a triumphant warrior. Instead, he comes back sick. But Francis's life changes after he heard the voice of God. That's one incident. Another incident in Francis's life was, at that time, Lyon, there were many lepers in Italy. I suppose you know that, no? In the 12th, 13th century, like in the time of Jesus, there were many lepers. And Francis hated the lepers. He hated the lepers and was afraid of them because, have you seen a leper? Have you seen a leper? Where?
In the movies.
Pardon?
In the movies.
Movies, without nose, sometimes without hands, without legs. So Francis ran. When he saw a leper, he used to turn the horse and go in the other direction. But after he started thinking, changing his life, one day he was going with the horse and he saw a leper. He got off, and instead of turning the horse and going to the other side, he got down from the horse and he went and he hugged the leper and kissed the leper. For the first time, Francis was able to do that. When he did that, it was a big step in his life. It was really a conversion. A man who ran away from the lepers, now he comes and he hugs the leper and he kisses the leper. So that was another sign that Francis had changed his life. Another incident was, you're feeling very sleepy, you're struggling to keep awake, Leon. I think we better stop for today and continue tomorrow. Better. Leon, can you come tomorrow morning? You come. Whatever time. What time can you? Want to come for Mass? You're free. You come.
Yeah, before morning.